Greetings, Greg here for Teslafaninsight. Today's talk focuses on the Tesla on a Google Amazon path or a Weworks path. And we look forward to sort of also diving into some of the ongoing weekly negative press on Tesla that I guess, you initially sort of say, oh, what is that? And try to take a look at it. And then once it's understood, you kind of step away and go, okay, it's part of the usual Tesla negative news. So just wanted to note, thank you to all our Patreon supporters. We also want to thank those of you who join us live. We can't say hello to everyone because of the impact on the show, but we also wanted to thank our subscribers. And if you do like the show, please take time to like. It is definitely impactful. We don't show all of our like buttons because we actually have a lot of channels copying our show, and those likes actually do impact, or having all those likes out there are one of the metrics that determines how many other YouTubers actually copy our show. So, and yes, we will be greeting you at the end of the show, but just not at the beginning, or it's your immediate comment. Now, one of the ideas behind our show we've been really testing is something called Top 5 at 5 in the sports arena here in the United States. And by the way, as you can see, I'm currently in my Long & Foster office. And if you have an interest in buying or selling real estate, we really like the opportunity to support you in that effort. And that's both domestically in the United States. We have some deals working on in California and Atlanta right now, as well as anywhere around the world that you'd like support in buying or selling real estate. We'd love an opportunity to get a chance to do so. So the first part of today's show that I was shocked by is one of my favorite shows is NPR. And this week, I don't know if you heard, but there was actually an announcement regarding the fact that there was a police car in California that ran out of juice as it was chasing a suspect after 120 mile an hour speeds. And I was expecting it from the Wall Street Journal and other companies like that, but I thought I would just bring that up today because I couldn't believe that NPR was getting in on the Tesla negative press, and therefore was like, wow, even NPR has got negative comments to share about Tesla and trying to find anything that might be negative that's going on. I wanted to read a quote from you that I was impressed by as I went through it this morning, and it's from Sun Tzu, and it says, every battle is won before it's ever fought. So I wanted to bring this up, and I'll put it in the notes as well, because one of the subtexts of the Tesla negativity on a weekly basis I find is, for example, it was announced that 100,000 vehicles are being purchased by Amazon from Rivian that will be electric vans making deliveries of Amazon products. And so I think this is great for Rivian to have done this. Tesla's fingers are all over it in terms of copying that's gone on of Tesla processes in different ways. And Rivian seems like a pretty good company that's making some strides, but the real goal is to have the whole electric industry grow. That's why Tesla has 75% of its patents that are out there open to be used by competitors. So for all of you who keep writing these dumb articles about the fact that Tesla is being beaten on pickup trucks or or being beaten into certain realms, I just remind you that Tesla has sold more cars and more Model 3s in the last 2 years than soon all the cars sold by Nissan in the Leaf over multiple years. So lest us move beyond Tesla being destroyed by some new competitor that is to be named soon. So the other note I wanted to make on the negative news from this week from Tesla was the fact that, yes, the police car ran out of juice, but they also forgot to recharge it when it was transferred between police officers. It's also a used 2014, so there are a lot of features the car does not have currently that they would get had they chosen to upgrade. So we look forward to Tesla showing well and being able to provide information, but the implication was anybody who tries to deal with an electric vehicle should expect that it'll run out of juice just like the police car did. And I just think it's a subtle dig on Tesla. The one last pre-note that I wanted to note is that there was an announcement regarding Elon Musk obstructing union opening at the facilities, and those that were fired for union organizing are going to have to be rehired, with Elon Musk being forced to read an entire document created by the government regarding the need to make Tesla available for union organization if the employees choose to do so. So I'm thinking that, one of the issues with getting Elon Musk ticked off is that he really becomes micro-focused on certain issues once it becomes a very large item. So do not be surprised to see heavy shift of Tesla production into other places based on the fact that, when you get this guy upset, you can end up with that anger sort of resulting in performance and execution to address issues that might be impacted by certain activities. So translation, the cheap labor in China could really be seen in terms of the number of vehicles that are being produced there and sort of the impact that might have on what Tesla is going to be doing. Vladimir and others are listing number of sales from different places across different locations. Feel free to, share info with each other as our show is rolling on. So our primary topic of the day, good morning. The primary topic of the day that we're focused on is just the fact that one of the issues that lurks for every company is that company headed towards a Google, Amazon future, which is obviously very profitable, very successful, or are they headed for the Weworks outcomes? And so in this case, we've been arguing that Tesla is really headed towards the Google, Amazon zone rather than the Weworks. And I thought it was really fascinating after reading a listing of the number of firms that are sort of having big problems right now, like Weworks and Peloton. You could also see that for Lyft and Uber. There's this phenomenon called barriers to entry. And the reality is that the folks at Amazon obviously have a barrier to entry, like delivering on same day, for example. And Amazon and Apple does have patents and also established relationships with customers. So there are a number of sort of barriers to entry associated with what what the company is doing, the patents it has, and its ability to protect itself from competitors immediately entering successfully to help destroy the potential of that company to see their sales not only stabilize but continue to grow. And so Weworks is really suffering, Uber and Lyft are suffering because there are fairly low barriers for competitors to enter, and therefore it's hard to show growth over time when you can't just enter the marketplace and continue to grow unimpeded by competitors being able to match your technology or your process or business. So I kind of bring all this up to just suggest that we're seeing good numbers. I kind of wanted to do this show targeting the fact that we're about to see earnings in the next 5 days or so. As you all know, there was just an announcement from Elon to the employees that they will achieve another 100,000 production run for this quarter. And so once we see earnings, we'll find out not only did Tesla sell or produce 100,000 vehicles, the other question was how many of those vehicles were sold successfully across the globe, and therefore how well were those dollars repatriated from those sales to help show strong quarterly numbers for Tesla. So we believe the numbers are going to be good, but as we've shared before, we actually think that Tesla is going to experience the exact same sort of typical performance, which is earnings are announced, the production numbers are solid, but the losses that come with those numbers are continuing to be high, driven by the fact that there are a number of products soon to come, like Y, the Semi, the Roadster, and even the pickup once that's announced. All of these vehicles are in development and costing large development costs, but their contribution to profit and revenue is actually low. So because of this, we expect the usual Tesla stock price to tick up before earnings get somewhat damaged by the unexpected losses, and then sort of the hedge fund guys kind of run out and say the sky's falling. But then level-headed investors will kind of re-enter and use it as a buying opportunity, because we're going to be finding out and seeing production from China, and then seeing the actual raw numbers of vehicles that are being sold. So the answer is, over time, it's a good idea to become a sophisticated sort of owner of Tesla's vehicles and stock as a way to make money in the process, because there's going to be a lot of, I want to say, counter-cyclical information coming out. And if you anticipate it, I think you can manage to make money from it. And the one note about Tesla that you can always be ready for is a large amount of volatility. And we believe that the next 90 days, volatility is going to be huge, especially once it's determined whether or not batteries are available for the, batteries will be available going forward, coming to the China factory. That doesn't affect the ability of U.S. cars to get enough battery, U.S. produced cars to get enough batteries to produce for domestic production, as well as possibly for shipping to places where there are tariffs that increase the cost of the vehicle. So I think it's, I think it's good news we're seeing from Tesla in the production space. The one little piece of ointment is, if you go back 2 shows for us, take a look at the number of cars in the repair space, and there are paint issues, there are other sort of put together issues that we think are noteworthy and you should be aware of if you're an owner investor, in terms of anticipating issues you might have with your car. If you can sort of pick them up from what's going on with owners in different locations, that actually could be a useful way to better understand sort of where we're going Tesla-wise. It was asked that I comment again on the Rivian 100,000 unit order, and I think it's great that they've got orders for 100,000 vans. Tesla hasn't chosen to enter that space, and it talked with the folks at Daimler-Benz about trying to do so from that angle. But I don't, I think 100,000 vehicles is great, but the fish that Tesla is trying to fry are really focused on, in large numbers, trucks and the car units that they've selected. So I expect there to be kind of an emphasis focus on those 2 arenas in terms of what the company is doing. But because Tesla has a lot of service vans out, there is an interest of trying to put Mercedes into Tesla batteries so they can get long range in that regard. So at any rate, the big question mark is, will we see Tesla become an Amazon, Google, or will it end up in the Weworks zone in terms of real damage to its viability? And I clearly believe that where we're headed is towards a Google Amazon zone of a very dominant company with successful products that are sold globally and huge market share that goes with it, short and long term, resulting in excellent performance of stock and really happy consumers, and sort of a nice ecosystem of success is what's anticipated. And yes, there are some rocky points, but as we've shared on numerous occasions, the introduction of the balance sheet of the Chinese in order to help Tesla be successful, I think, is a significant incoming phenomenon. And I think it's a total game changer in terms of where things end up going. Andrew just made a comment about NIO and what's going forward. I'm still sort of blown away by the NIO/BYD and other company situation. Before China allowed its domestic manufacturers to become established he/they are now allowing competitors like Tesla to enter the space and ravage these domestic manufacturers. So I suppose there's a brilliant idea that's lurking underneath this that we can't think of right now, but we'll be observing and updating as we go from there. Sean just asked the question, do I expect to see Chinese EVs in the United States? Clearly with Mr. Trump in office, the answer is no. I think the future is very interesting because one of the problems Tesla is having is they can't produce the trucks because they're using all the batteries for other vehicles. So I think we entirely have the possibility of maybe the battery packs built in the United States and then Tesla shipping those batteries to China, the trucks being produced there, and then they may not come to the United States. They may end up in other places. But I definitely see sort of Chinese products because of their low cost situation heading to other places. And so we'll stay tuned for that. But no, I don't see Chinese produced vehicles entering the United States because the bump in price is so severe. There's no incentive to do so here. At any rate, I want to thank all of you. I could see some really good conversations there, which I think we'll copy and move to other locations regarding sales and production in Sweden and other countries, and the number of buyers, et cetera, has been really impressive, especially given that people are having to pay such high taxes when they're purchasing vehicles, but they're doing so happily and readily. At any rate, we very much look forward to your comments regarding show cover today. One of the health tips I wanted to dive into today is the impact of fried foods on the body. I met with a kidney doctor who mentioned to us that what people don't realize is that no more than once a week for fried foods is a good idea, because your body actually looks at the fried foods and says, oh, I don't know what that is. Why don't we store it next to your organs? And then at some time in the future, we'll figure out what it is and what to do with it. And so I kind of wanted to bring this up to you because if you're a heavy fried food eater and you don't want type 2 diabetes, you may want to take a look or have a conversation with your doctor about this phenomenon, because I like fried foods like everybody else, but moderation is definitely the key to not have it become a mega health issue going forward. As usual, with our health tips, we always review the fact that I just finished my 25 leg lifts on each legs. Interesting. 25 leg lifts, both legs. Don't forget, don't eat within 4 hours of going to bed, preferably at minimum 2 hours to let the food digest so it won't negatively affect you. We also look forward to suggestions of topics that we might want to cover, and happy to do so. Again, look forward to some interesting numbers from Tesla in terms of production and sales and revenue, and then also an update on what's happening in China, and look forward to having commentary on that as well. Glad to get over the cold, and as you notice, not drinking, et cetera, as much because we're just about beyond. Once again, thank you for joining us. In German, we say Tschüss, macht's gut. In French, au revoir. In Hebrew, Lahitrot. In Farsi, Khoda Hafez. Swedish, Hedge Du. And Spanish, Adios. Chinese, Ni Hao Ma. Russian, Zdravstvuyte. I wanted to say also enough respect and walk good in Jamaica. We say that for my friends Donovan and Sean, etc. Jerry, I saw you there. Albert, I saw you there. Vladimir, thanks for Dovidenia. I actually know that one. Thanks for that, Vladimir. I'll have to add that to our list. Ciao, James. Thanks for the comments there. Look forward to all of your comments post-show, and any suggestions on topics we might cover is also appreciated. Thank you again for liking and subscribing. Farvel, Per, thanks for that. And ciao from Albert in Italian. Have a great day. Bye for now. Hope you have a great weekend and look forward to our next conversation. Thank you and bye.